Hello trainees, today we are going to learn about demonstrating the use of different types of chisel, chiseling along and across the grain. The objectives of this video are, after the session you'll be able to chisel and different types of chisels, chisel across the grain, mark the piece as per the drawing, chisel across the grain and along the grain. Let's start. Chisels are used for shaping and finishing the parts of wood joints. They are also used for shaping different profiles in woodwork. The size of the chisel is determined by width of the blade and type. All chisels consist of four main parts: the handle, the blade, tang, ferrule. The blade of a chisel is made of forged tool set. Grinding angle 20 to 25 degrees. Sharpening angle 30 to 35 degrees. Types of chisels: bench firmer chisel, bevel-edged firmer chisel, registered firmer chisel, paring chisel, socket firmer or socket mortise chisel, mortise chisel, gauge chisel. Bench firmer chisel. This is used for general chiseling purposes. Strongly made, it can be used for light chiseling with a mallet. The blade is rectangular in the cross section. The handle is made of beech or ash wood. It has a brass ferrule. Tang is fixed inside the ferrule. It is available from 3 mm to 50 mm. Bevel-edged firmer chisel. It is more convenient for lighter works and paring works and in places where ordinary firmer chisel cannot be used, such as cleaning up corners and joints. Bevel-edged firmer chisel has two edges beveled along its length, which makes it lighter and the edges thinner. Size varies from 3 mm to 50 mm. Registered firmer chisel. It is used for heavy work such as mortising. The use of mallet is necessary here. It is stronger than ordinary firmer chisel. It has a thicker blade and iron ferrule at both sides of handle. A leather washer is provided between the shoulder of the blade and the handle to act as shock absorber when the chisel is hit by the mallet. Paring chisel. It is most suitable for all paring work such as finishing off joints. It has an extra long thin blade with beveled edges. It should never be used with a mallet. The handle is made of beech and octagonal in section. Size varies from 3 mm to 50 mm. Socket firmer or socket mortise chisel. It is used for extra heavy work. The blade is thicker and stronger than other chisels. It is able to withstand the blows of the mallet and level out the cover of mortises. The ash handle provided with ferrule is fitted in the socket in the blade. Size varies from 3 mm to 50 mm. Gauge chisel. Chisels are blades of circular section called as gauges or hollow chisels. According to the position of the cutting bevel on the blade, there are two main types: inside beveled gauge, outside beveled firmer gauge and scribing gauge. Mortise chisel. The mortise chisel is designed to withstand hard, rough wear, and the thickness of the blade permits the leverage necessary to clear the mortise and keep the blade true. It has strong handle and the blade is fitted into it by a tang as with the socket and tang chisel. 54 common sizes of mortise chisels are 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 20 mm in width. The chisel blade is ground slightly taper from the face towards the back and from the cutting edge towards the handle to avoid friction. Mortise chisels are used mainly for chopping mortises and are driven with heavy blows of the mallet. The sash mortise chisels have a tough leather washer between the shoulder of the tang and the handle to help absorb the shock of repeated blows. Precautions to take before using the chisel. Never hold your hand or finger before the cutting edge. Never use a chisel without a proper handle. Chiseling across the grain. Grind and sharpen the firmer chisel. Plane the job to the required size of 50 x 22 x 150 mm. Hold the job on the vise and check it with tri-square for its flatness. With tri-square, mark out lines at a distance 50 mm and 100 from left side. With marking knife and tri-square, mark out lines at a distance of 50 mm and 100 from left side. Hold the tenon saw on the line marked and saw it to a 50 mm and 100 mm from left side. Repeat the procedure for the other side. Saw it to a depth of 11 mm. Hold the firmer chisel in your right hand on the handle and guide the blade with left hand. Control the movement of the chisel with thumb and forefinger. Push it on the space to be cut. Start a chiseling away from you at the bevel of the chisel turned upwards. Start a chiseling away from you, the bevel of the chisel turned upwards. Chisel in an inclined direction up to the middle of the portion. Reverse the workpiece so that the backside comes to front and hold in the vise. Chisel the waste material away from you up to the middle portion. Repeat the chiseling. Start chiseling slowly to make flat portion. Repeat the procedure for the other side. Saw it to a depth of 10 mm. Smooth the bottom and side walls with firmer chisels. Finish the job. Chiseling across the grain and along the grain. Check the raw material for its size. Plane the job to the required size of 50 x 22 x 290 mm. Mark the measurement on the job as per the drawing. Hold the job in the vise. Cut the shoulder line down to the center line, depth 11 mm with tenon saw. Keep the tenon saw at 90 degrees to ensure cutting at right angles. Cut on the waist side of the shoulder line. With the tenon saw, make several saw cuts in between the shoulder lines almost to the center line. Place the job flat on the workbench. With the help of firmer chisel and mallet, remove the surplus material on both sides, preventing splitting of wood. Chisel out excess wood little by little starting from the top and bottom. Smooth the bottom trench portion with firmer chisel. Repeat it for the other trenches also. Marking for chiseling. Observe the provided drawing. Hold the job 160 x 60 x 25 on the bench or vise. Plane it to size 160 x 50 x 22. With tri-square and steel rule, mark 5 mm, 55 mm, 105 mm and 155 mm from one end of the job. Hold the stock of the tri-square closely in contact with the face edge and mark lines with marking knife and wooden rule at the distance of 5 mm, 55 mm, 105 mm and 155 mm on all four sides. Set the marking gauge to 11 mm and scribe on the middle of face edge and its opposite side. Let's quickly recap. In this training session, participants will learn about using different types of chisels for woodwork, covering chiseling along and across the grain. Types of chisels discussed include bench firmer, bevel edge firmer, registered firmer, paring, socket firmer, and mortise chisels. The tutorial demonstrates chiseling across the grain, providing step-by-step instructions and extends to chiseling along the grain. It concludes with marking procedures for chiseling. Participants will gain proficiency in using chisels for shaping, finishing, and creating wood joints. Hope you understood everything taught in this session. See you in another video. Thank you and goodbye until then.